All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another podcast, Mr. Super Potatoes podcast, episode 4. And today's main topic we're going to be talking about is top 5 games of the last 5 years. So I'm here with Dave. Dave's say hey. Hi, everybody. To Dave.
What's up, all you cool cats and kittens?
Nice. Just some quick stuff to get out the way as always. If you guys want to donate to the stream or the podcast, please use the link in the description and go ahead and donate to the St. Jude Foundation. And you'll find that on the description. So now that's out of the way. Let's talk about our top 5 games of the last 5 years. Dave, you want to start us off?
All right, yeah, I'll start off. Do you want to alternate years, or do you just want me to do my top 5?
Top 5, like start at your least of the top 5, your 5 of 5, I guess, and then just dive in from there.
Well, how about this? Because I didn't really structure mine in that way.
Mm-hmm.
What I did was I chose my favorite game of the year that came out that year, not necessarily the year that I played it. So I'll start from 2018 and go up.
Okay.
So 2018, if anybody, listened to the last podcast, it was God of War, obviously. That would be my game of 2018. Mikey and I, we spoke pretty heavily on it on the last podcast, so check that one out. For 2019, Death Stranding. All right.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, I'm telling you,
I can't.
Dude, I am telling you, man. I didn't think I'd be able to get into it either. I know it's a weird Kojima game, all that other stuff. You're walking around half the time. You're like a naked Norman Reedus.
Norman with the fetus.
Yeah, dude, it's weird. It's super weird, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and say that it's not, because it definitely is. But I sat down and I played that game, and I could not put it down. There's the crafting, and it's like, oh, it's a boring ass walking simulator. You would be wrong if you think that, because it is just, that world is so immersive. And don't get me wrong, the story is all over the place. It's a Kojima game, of course. It's so convoluted, so messy. You can't hardly tell what's going on story-wise most of the time. But there's a satisfaction from picking up a delivery, plotting your route, crafting the equipment you need to get through all the hurdles that are going to be along the way, and getting your package from point A to point B. There was something about that I loved it. I loved it, man. It was awesome.
Okay. So let's talk about that game more. I've never played it, but I am sort of curious in the sense of, isn't the world supposed to evolve, and with like people making bridges and different roads to make the deliveries easier?
It does, as long as you're connected to the internet. And that's a huge underlying theme of this game, is like connection and being connected to other people and stuff like that. Now, you're not going to run into another player on your map or anything like that, but you will run into structures that other players have placed that will help you along your journey, and other players will run into the things that you've built. So there's a part of the game where, and this is no spoilers, by the way, but it does come to a point of the game where there's a highway system, right, that you can use to easily travel. However, it's all dilapidated and broke down. But you and other players on your same server or whatever work together to contribute the materials to put that highway back together. Okay. And it's just so cool, man. It's like a huge team effort type thing,
So I'm confused on how they figure out what players are building the highways at the same time. Is it like who's gotten the same distance in the story mode at the same time? Or do you have to go to certain servers? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand how the game evolves without you having your own team, or it just evolves really fast and that's the war. Like, I don't understand.
Well, I would imagine, and I don't know the ins and outs, the intricacies or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't know why I tried to say it. But I imagine it's just like, it's a shared server. Anybody who's in the same area or that far along in the game at the same time as you are, you contribute your materials to it's like a little station type, like podium thing that you contribute materials to. And it's an obscene amount of materials too. You're not going to do it all by yourself. you know, because you harvest materials throughout the game, but you're not going to be able to do it all by yourself unless you
Okay.
like just grind consistently, you know.
Is it
But the
kind of like
number just
the
ticks up.
is it like the Destiny hub world type deal, or is it just one spot you dump stuff at?
No, it's just like it's out there. It's on the open world. It's along the route of the highway, but it's just like a little, um, like a kiosk that you drop stuff off at. You know, when you got
Okay.
materials and you come by it, hey, guess what? You know,
Yeah,
I
all
can
right.
contribute to this highway. So once the goal is met, then that section of the highway is built.
How much is that game going for right now? Like, if I find it on sale, how much would it be on sale?
Oh, I would imagine it's probably about $20 right now.
Okay.
I would have to I would have to Google that, honestly.
I'll wait
But I
till it
think,
hits 5.
yeah, of course you will. Of course you will. So 20 years from now, you'll be like, Dave, you were right.
Yeah, just like when I watched Aliens. Like, yeah, it was great.
Dude, Aliens was awesome. Yeah, man. Welcome to 1986.
Well, I got to enjoy Aliens in 2019. That was great. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, here I'll talk about one of my favorite games, and feel free to hop in if it's the same. So far, your games, I haven't played either one of them, so I can't contribute. But if you haven't played this game yet, you guys really should, and that's Celeste. Have you played that yet, Dave?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I remember when I played on it, and we were on a work trip. You had not, and
Yeah, I think I downloaded it on that work trip and started playing some of it.
So I picked this game up on a night where I was just tired of whatever I was playing, whatever main game I was on. I think I was playing like Link's Awakening. I think that had just come out. And then I was also playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I think I had just put that down. And I just wanted something new and fresh and just completely different. So I had Celeste on there. I picked up from Xbox games or Gold Games when they actually gave you good games. And I couldn't put it down. Like, I meant to play it for like 10, 15 minutes and then just be like, all right, I'm going to go to bed. But I think I stayed up pretty like late for me, which if anyone knows, when I stream, I get off at 10:30 the latest. But I think I stayed up till like midnight or 1 just playing and playing. And it's so much fun. Like, you feel like you are just about to master the game, or like you figured something out, and then the environment throws you something new, like something completely else, and it's really, really fun and challenging, but fair, very fair. I never felt like I died or got cheated from the game.
Yeah, so it's not like a Ghost and Goblins type situation where that
Not
game
at
can
all.
just be straight up unfair.
Yeah,
But
not at
it's
all.
like, yeah, it's like definitely a skill-based game. And I know exactly what you're saying. It's almost along the same lines as like a Super Meat Boy,
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
say.
yeah.
And I have played it. I've played quite a bit of it. I haven't played as much as you have. But I did really enjoy the game. And I know once upon a time, a few years ago, we spoke about it. You know, the main character's name is what, Maddie?
Yep.
And then her evil twin is named Batty or something like that.
Yeah, something similar to that. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I really enjoyed that game too. The mechanics were good.
Yep. Very good.
It was cool how the game evolved as you went along. It wasn't
Yep.
just the same thing over and over and over again. It's like it actually got more involved and more intricate as it went on.
Yeah, and even the game would like tell you, like, once you get like a little further, it would like encourage you. Like, you're almost to the top of the mountain, you're further, like, keep going. Like, don't think you can't do this. And I would normally be like, that's stupid, don't tell me, game. But I was like, you know what? This game's kind of right. Like, I'm gonna keep going. I got this. So I thought that was a lot of fun to deal with that. But
Wow, you were inspired for once in your life.
I know, right? But all right, I'll let you go again. I'll let you go on the next one.
Well, my game for 2020, I'm sure it's no surprise to you, Final Fantasy VII Remake. That is the game, my game of the year for 2020. However, pause for effect. I do have a couple runners up there. And I do have to just mention them,
Well, hold on. Before we go further, I want to talk about Final Fantasy VII real quick, because I can talk about Doom Eternal forever. But real quick, how did you like how they switched stuff around? I I don't mean to spoil anything, but I mean, if you know anything about video games, you know they changed the ending.
Yeah, and I would hate to. I don't want to steal anything from anybody who hasn't played it yet, because I think that's an experience that you need to like experience firsthand.
Yeah.
But I have to say that the way they handled it, it's only like in the original game, the entire span of this game is just like the first 8 hours of the original game. But they added so much. They made it to, this is almost, and without getting too much into details or anything like that, this is almost like a sequel as opposed to a complete remake. Because it's not a step for step. It's not just a graphical boost or anything like that. The story is definitely different. And there are parts of the story that are included that didn't take place until later on in the game and things like that. But I'm very interested to see where the series goes in the future. The Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade.
Yes.
You still hear me? My computer went to sleep.
Yep, I got
don't
you.
know if that cut me off. Okay, cool. But the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade PlayStation 5 version, same game, you know, just the PS5 version.
Yeah.
It came with an add-on, like a add-on episode featuring a different character from the original game. That it just adds other stuff from other parts, you know, and it was really cool to see it take place in tandem with, you know, the rest of the story. And it expanded the ending of Final Fantasy Remake as well. I'm very excited, man. Like the whole series going forward, I am super optimistic and very excited about where it's going to go. And I am not unhappy at all. You know, some people are like, dude, you got Kingdom Hearts in my Final Fantasy VII. It's like, well, okay, maybe they did a little bit, but it's still, and I'm not saying like the Disney stuff, but like the cloaked figures and all that kind of thing. But I'm really looking forward to it, the next one. Hopefully we get an announcement pretty soon. They seem to miss like their little anniversaries. Like all these game studios lately seem to be missing their anniversaries. Like, it's the perfect opportunity to be like, hey, it's the second anniversary of Final Fantasy VII Remake coming out. It's like, cool. Is there an announcement? Nope. Oh.
Yeah.
You know, just like God of War 2018's 4-year anniversary was just a few days ago.
Yep.
And the only announcement we got was, we're not ready to show you anything yet. Well, it's like, well, then why'd you even say anything to begin with?
Yeah,
like,
I think they want people to think about
Ragnarok. We love you, but I don't want to hear from you until you're ready to tell me about the game.
Well, that's like a two-edged sword, because if you don't put anything out, everyone's going to be like, oh, they don't have anything. They're not ready. God of War is going to get delayed. You know, it goes both ways. It's
Yeah.
You can't make anyone happy.
That's also true. No, you can't, especially not me or you.
Well, yeah, of course. But I was going to ask you something else, but I forget. Whatever. I don't care anymore.
Was it about that collector's edition that you kept pestering me to buy?
No, I honestly wasn't going to bring that one up for the first time ever.
You know what though? What's funny is I did buy a separate standalone statue of Cloud from this version of the game.
Yeah,
that is sitting on my shelf. And I've bought a couple like art books and strategy guides since then. So I think I think I've gotten the you know, my value of collector's edition like kind of out there. I also have the steelbook for the PlayStation 5 version as well, so I've got 2 Final Fantasy VII Remake steelbooks out there.
All right. That's exciting. So I'm glad you're happy about Final Fantasy and where it's at. But I'm still trying to think what I was going to say. Oh, you bringing up anniversaries and then people not hitting anniversaries. What the heck happened to the Zelda's 35th anniversary, right? Like, we had a whole year of Mario and they dropped Mario 3D World, right? Oh, yeah. Mario, what's that game called?
Yeah, the 3D All-Stars.
3D All-Stars.
That's on my list as an honorable
right. I'm going to bring that up too, because I got a game on that I played. But anyways, like, I was really hoping to get like the Zelda, the GameCube one,
Wind
Waker, right?
Or Twilight Princess.
I don't care about Twilight. I wanted Wind Waker because I want to play Wind Waker. That art style looks really good to me, and that's the time I ignored Nintendo. So all those games I'm coming back to and playing. Like, I've never played a Luigi's Mansion. I've considered.
Really?
I haven't. I am telling you, I skipped that whole generation. I was too cool for Nintendo.
You would like it. Well, I mean, you have a Switch now.
I do.
I think you would like Luigi's Mansion 3. I
Yeah,
think you would like it.
I'm waiting to buy it. Like,
Wait till it's $2 on sale. You're gonna
it's
be waiting
never
a long
gonna
time,
be
bro.
there.
It's a Nintendo game.
Yeah, I know. I know it'll never get to that point, but I have so many games in my backlog. I can't justify it right now.
Oh yeah, I know the struggle. I know the pain.
Yeah, but all right.
I live with it every day when I wake up and I look at my DVD shelf.
Yeah, but apparently it doesn't matter to you. I feel like you'll just buy new games. Like, you sent me a list of new pickups for the week, and I was like, I haven't picked anything up.
Dude, I've always said this. I'm better at buying games than I am at playing them.
That's the truth.
You know,
it's like a weird satisfaction,
man. I don't have the time.
No, right. But it's also a weird satisfaction just to buy a game and know you have it. But then in the back of your head, you know you're never going to play it. Like, I've done that so often.
Maybe someday when I retire, bro. But by then, I don't know, my eyes will probably fall out or some shit. It's like, that's what you get.
Can you imagine how big our game list is going to be? Or as I call it, a pile of shame by the time we get to that age? Because I'm not going to stop buying games. I'm not going to finish them all. I know that. I'm trying. I've been trying to finish just the Spider-Man games, which are really short games for this last, month and a half. And I beat Spider-Man, but I'm only like halfway through Miles Morales. And even that's a struggle.
That's a short one. That's on the shorter side.
Yeah, I think I'm about halfway through it right now.
I think it was originally supposed to be a DLC add-on.
Yeah.
Like side story to the first one, but it was good. It was good in its own right.
Yeah, it's great.
Like it.
I don't like the fact that I have to use the PS4 controller, but I think I talked about this last week.
Yeah, you did, but I was thinking, because it's been a little while since I played it. What part is it that's making you use the touchpad?
You have to swipe left on the app. Like, you're supposed to pull up the Spider-Man app to find different things, right?
Okay.
It's a cool idea. Like, people will like hit Miles up to get something fixed, and it's a way to do your side quest.
Little side quest system.
Yeah, it was a really neat idea.
I
but
forgot about that.
I am the one individual, or maybe there's probably like 30 of us that tried to stay away from the PS4 controller, and this game has made me buy a PS4 controller. So now, since I'm a cheap person, I am forcing myself to use this PS4 controller for all my PS4 games now, because I paid $65 for it, so I'm going to get $65 out of it.
You buy a new or used?
New.
Okay, good.
I cannot buy a used controller, because I was telling my wife about it.
No, it's too gross.
Yeah, that exactly what I said. I was telling my wife, like, yeah, I need a new controller. She said, well, she was helping me out, and I said, hey, well, okay, she was at Target at the time, and I wanted her to see if she can pick one up at Target, and apparently they didn't have any there, which I thought was weird. Okay, and she said, well, hey, I found one on Craigslist for you, or Facebook Marketplace. It was like, no, I don't use other people's controllers. She goes, well, why not? You can clean it. Like, okay, yeah, I could clean it, but I don't know what gross stuff was on it before. Yeah. And the thumbsticks are worn.
My hands. These grips are really good.
Yeah, no. It's something satisfying about having a brand new controller. Yeah, and then I explained to her about drift, joystick drift, and stuff, and then she understands all that because our Switch is doing that, and I've had to fix that. So
yeah. Well, I mean, Switch. You know, the Joy-Cons are notorious for that, but I don't think PlayStation 4 controllers are.
All controllers.
But I mean, it's good that you said it just to, maybe back up your argument for getting a new one.
Yeah, and also, I guess, to have a complete system, you got to have at least one of the original controllers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be kind of weird to have a PlayStation. Well, I guess it was weird, and I beat Spider-Man with it. A PlayStation without a PlayStation controller. I beat it with an Xbox controller, which, I mean, to me is way better than a PlayStation controller, but
it has all the same damn buttons minus the touchscreen, and the joystick is up. I mean, that's the only difference.
But my hands slip off the PlayStation. So so when I grip, I'm gonna physically do it and describe it to you. When I grip my Xbox controller, my palms are what is holding the controller, and then everything is kind of free. And I guess my pinky and ring finger kind of hold it, right? But then when I grab the PlayStation controller and I try to do that, it slips. Like my fingers don't stay comfortably on the joysticks. They don't do it. So I have found I use the sides of the joysticks instead of the top for the PlayStation controller because I'm constantly slipping. So I get more pressure on the side of the joystick so I won't slip off. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what
So
you're talking about. I
I
think I do
am
the
terrible.
same thing. Is I just kind of hold with the center of my thumb. I just kind of hold the edge of the joystick and manipulate
Yeah.
it
That's
that
not how
way.
it's supposed to
Yeah.
be. On a Xbox, I slap the center of my thumbs on the top of that joystick and I do not move. I am solid.
Okay, dude, but it's like,
I'm,
man, I've been doing it for. Well, when did the DualShock first come out? In '98, I think. So I've been
yeah, the
doing it since then. I've
PS1,
been
yeah.
doing okay, and I think I have more platinum trophies than you do. So
All
I'm
right.
pretty
That's
sure
what
I'm
we're
doing
going
all
to
right.
do. Okay. Yeah, all right. All right, let's get into my next. Or you know what? Let's get into your honorable mentions of 2019. Is that what we were on
No,
with
it
you?
was 2020.
2020.
So my honorable mentions are Doom Eternal.
Hold
Obviously,
on.
that was a
Hold on.
great game.
Let's talk about Doom Eternal. I like your honorable
Yes.
mentions, but we don't have a time limit on this podcast. So let's just talk. So, do you prefer Doom 2016 or Doom Eternal?
I prefer the multiplayer from Doom 2016. I can say that much. I think they both go good as like story wise as a package deal. The controls, like the evolution of the weapons and stuff like that, the gameplay from 2016 to Eternal, it's a masterpiece, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it is my first honorable mention of 2020, only losing to Final Fantasy VII Remake by like a hair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I actually had to think about that, but I was like, I'm gonna have to go with 7 Remake. But Doom Eternal, I played hours and hours and hours of it. The story mode, I played through it a couple times. I've got every trophy in that game except for these freaking multiplayer trophies. I do not like the 1v2, like 2 players control demons and then 1 player is the Doom Slayer and you're against each other. And I don't like that. I would have rather had just a regular old deathmatch. What happened to deathmatch? It's what like Doom
Well,
popularized, you know?
I heard a podcast. The guy who made it, I don't remember his name, but he was the lead producer for Doom Eternal at id Software. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was discussing that because Joe Rogan was like, "Why don't we just have team deathmatch? I would love team deathmatch." Like, because Joe Rogan was a huge Quake player back in the day, or whatever it was. And I don't even want to talk about Joe Rogan. I'm so off of him lately, but basically, the producer was saying like, "Hey, there's team deathmatch everywhere. I want this game to be different. Like, if you want to play team deathmatch, you have a million different options." He wanted to make something fresh, and it didn't land. Okay, but I really appreciate the fact that a game producer or somebody making a game tried something new, tried something different. And it's not always going to work out, but I thought that was super cool of him. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't played the multiplayer. I just haven't.
Yeah, and I haven't played it since either. That's why I still don't have the platinum trophy in that game. But the and I get it, man. I get it. It's like, yeah, we want to do something new or whatever, but guess what, guys? Doom created Team Deathmatch. If anybody should be doing Team Deathmatch, it should be Doom. You know what I'm saying? It's like, at least put the mode in there. Don't put some crazy, it's like, hey, guess what? To get these trophies for multiplayer, you're going to have to kill 200 demons as the Doom Slayer. It's like, bro, I can't survive as the Doom Slayer playing against 2 players, playing as demons who can spawn a million other demons. I can't survive, bro.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I got to kill 200 other players at this weird freaking lopsided deathmatch shit. Sorry, language, but I don't know, man.
I understand. Know. Okay, how do you feel about single player?
Single player, I loved it, man. The lore was amazing. The story was cool. The collectibles were cool. It continued off from where Doom 2016 left. It kind of bridged the gap between the two. I mean, there was a gap there.
There's a gap.
The two. It's like
pretty big gap.
You finish 2016 and you start Eternal and you're in some flying Doom fortress, and it's like, well, I mean, that's super awesome. That's super rad. Don't get me wrong, but okay, how did we get here?
Exactly. How did I get this amazing ship?
Yeah,
It's like
all
a
the Easter eggs and
fortress.
stuff, though, the lore of the civilization, like the Slayer's background
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, and how it kind of ties back to the original two Doom games.
Yeah.
Doom and Doom 2, early
Yeah.
90s. I thought it was really cool. I do have yet to play the two expansions though.
Okay. Yeah. Same. I'll be
Ancient
honest.
Gods.
I haven't beat it. I am on, I think, the last level, and I forgot why I put it down. I think I had to go on a work trip or a vacation. I don't remember, but I was
Are you
playing
still
it
playing it on
hardcore.
Switch?
No, I bought it on the
Oh,
Xbox.
okay,
I have it
good,
on the
good,
Series
good.
X. So I bought it. I think you and I think you left work right when this came out, or I forgot what exactly happened. But you and I talked about if I should wait to get it on Switch or not, because it came out like a year and a half after on Switch. Because I
Yeah.
have Doom 2016 on Switch, and I have all the Doom games actually on Switch. So I
Yeah.
was thinking, do I wait and get it on Switch? And I think you said no, it's going to be way better on your Xbox. So I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
dude, it wouldn't be worth playing
No,
on the
you're right.
Switch, man.
Even though
The Switch is great and all. I
not
do
for
enjoy it,
this,
but
no.
not for some of these games.
So I really do enjoy Eternal, but I enjoy Doom 2016 better only for the fact that there's less going on in 2016. Meaning, there's too many weapons in Doom Eternal, right? So you have like the fire, the flamethrower, you have your grenades, you have your guns, you have your different mods for each gun, and then you got your boost. Like if I didn't have an elite controller, like the special pro controller with the paddles on the bottom, I don't think I'd be very good at Doom. Like I would struggle. But since I have all these extra buttons, it's easier for me to play. Does that make sense? Like I have an advantage,
Oh
but
yeah.
I paid for that advantage, where the average person is not going to have that same advantage. And it's just so much.
I totally understand the advantage because I bought that little back button attachment thing for the PlayStation 4 controller. I
Yeah.
don't know if you'd ever seen that.
Yeah, I know exactly.
But
And I'm
it
thinking about
worked
buying one.
really well with Destiny. Like I can't play Destiny without that thing
Mhm.
anymore, and it works for other shooters as well. And the problem is so when that thing came out, right? It was shortly before the PS5 came out. Everybody and before anybody had even seen the controller or anything. So everybody's like, well, okay, this must mean, Sony's trying to get people ready for playing with back paddles and stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
the PS5, obviously, it's going to come with back paddles.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except it did
No.
not. And this little attachment isn't even compatible with the PS5 controller.
Yeah.
So now I find myself having to unlearn, using my middle finger to, jump or reload. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to take my thumbs off the sticks.
So you're playing Claw?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
I
be
don't
up with
know,
the
man.
Claw.
It's like I'm not a skateboarder. I'm just like I'm not skating Mongo or anything. I don't know. Like,
the lingo.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
So, yeah, when I was really big in the Apex and COD, I was always trying different like methods like that because you know me, Mr. Cheap. I didn't want to buy the Elite or anything, and actually, I bought a Power A controller for the paddles when I eventually just gave up on the Claw and all that. But yeah, I tried learning all the different methods and whatnot, so I understand. But going back to the PlayStation paddles on the bottom, I was actually really jealous. I wished Microsoft would put out something like that, an attachment for a regular Xbox controller, because that would have saved me so much money. It really would have, because like I just said, I eventually bought an $80 Power 8 controller with the paddles underneath, and it oh my gosh, if you guys don't have a controller with paddles and you want to be a competitive player, it's above and beyond. Like you have to have the paddles nowadays, like just to compete.
What is that brand that does the super fancy controllers?
Scuff. I was going to tell you to buy Scuff.
Yes, I almost did that a while back for the PS4.
Yeah.
I'd have to look into my options for PS5 controllers, but I just bought one of those purple PS5 controllers because I hate white. Dude, I don't know why they decided to make your controller all white.
No.
You can wash your hands 100 times a day and you're still going to have
it's going to turn brown,
sweat buildup and stuff like that. It's super weird, man. I don't know why they would do that. I also got to buy the side plates.
Almost every other PlayStation they had was black. Well, the PS1 it came out like that gray.
It was gray.
But then PS2 it was iconically black. 3 black, 4 black.
Black.
And then right,
Hey,
and
guess what? You know, it looks like a ski resort if you were looking at it up on a mountain. It's like, dude, why? What is
I
this
don't know.
weird shape? So now I gotta buy the black plates from Sony if those ever come back into stock or whatever.
They have a
I gotta get
company that
those
does
just so I
that.
can have a. They do, but I really like the official PlayStation ones because it's like the texture. If you look real close, it's the square, the circle,
Oh
the
yeah.
cross, and the triangle
All right, does
all
everybody
over
know
it.
what we're talking about here? We just started going off on like a tangent, and Dave and I think just brain synced up here. But on the PS5, you can take off the side plates, and if anyone knows what we're talking about, it looks like a router. Well, Sony. Okay, so the plates on the outside are white, and the box in the middle is black, and if you can make it all black if you want, or buy different color plates for the size of it. So I think I've seen blue, red, obviously black, and then the white is
There's
what
that
it
weird
comes with.
pink or magenta as
Okay,
well. You know, purple, all that other,
yeah,
all the colors that the controllers came out with, the official Sony controllers came out with recently. They have the side plates for as well.
okay. So there's also another company out there. I don't remember the name of this company, but they made their own side plates for the PS5, and it goes with the shape of the console, so you don't have those like bat wing things sticking out. It looks really slick. It goes along that curve, and I
It
like that.
does, but I
Yeah, I
think
like that look.
Sony like sued them
They
like
did to the first
just
iteration.
before, yeah, just before they came out with their own. It's like, yo,
Yeah,
Sony, it's not this company's fault that you dropped the ball and they were able to
right.
produce it.
So yeah,
You know,
they sued them for their name or something because it was so close to Sony's name for something, and then the company just changed their name, and they had the product just different enough to not get a copyright or get sued. So they're still selling
oh,
them.
well, good for the little
Yeah,
guy, man. But you
absolutely.
know, of course, you know, I'm a Sony whore, so I need the official shit.
I got
But
you, dude. That's a good rabbit hole. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want this podcast to be. Just talk about Doom Eternal. Somehow end up on side plates for the PS5. That's awesome.
yeah, we got there eventually.
All right. So, all right. You want any other nominees for 2020?
Yeah, 2020, and I know you may not have much to say about this one, obviously, but Ghost of Tsushima from Sucker Punch Studios, same company that did Infamous. Huge fan of Infamous. I hope they come back
They're
with
talking
that
about it.
series. They have been talking about it,
Whispers,
and I'm
whispers.
cautiously optimistic.
Oh yeah.
But my other ones are Super Mario 3D All Stars
Okay.
and Spider-Man Miles Morales.
All right. All right. Well, if you're a fan of this channel, you know I'm working through Miles Morales. So let's back up and talk about Mario 3D World All Stars, 3D All Stars. Yeah.
Well, I got it right when I don't think it's a secret. I've mentioned before. I live in Hawaii. I got it right when I got here, and that's when I started playing it. And it was such a nostalgia trip playing Mario 64 again.
Yeah.
Like going through. I actually ended up buying a copy digitally for my sister because you know we grew up. That was like one of the first two games that we had on our Nintendo 64.
You don't
And we
say.
spent our whole Christmas we spent our whole Christmas vacation playing through that game to get all 120 stars, like taking turns, you know,
That's
getting
sick.
them all. And it was just really fun, you know, texting my sisters like, how many stars you got now? You know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I still have my original strategy guide from Mario
No
64.
way.
So it was awesome to, you know, sit there and if I'm stuck on something, if I don't remember, or if the controls are being weird, or if my brain's not wired that way anymore, I can, you know, kind of look for pointers in the strategy guide instead of like going on GameFAQs or, you know, YouTube or something.
Yeah.
But it was just such a blast, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I gotta say, Mario Sunshine, not a huge fan of. Maybe I haven't given it enough time yet, but I've never been huge on that one.
Right.
But it was fun playing that one too. And then Mario Galaxy I had on the Wii. Never really got into it, but I did have it. And
Okay.
you know, it's fun. It's different. But Mario 64 by far, for me at least,
I get that.
Is the standout.
So Mario 64 has my nostalgia attention as well. And so my youngest son, he's 3, and I bought the Mario games as soon as that came out. I had it pre-ordered and everything, and I was super pumped to get Mario 64 on my Switch. And I never played Mario Sunshine, right? Because once again, I skipped the GameCube era, so I've never played it. And then I had Mario Galaxy when I was in college or in just about to graduate high school, but my younger brother had it on Wii. Obviously, that's where it came from. And I played it a little bit, but once again, I was playing Call of Duty and Counter-Strike. I'm like, well, it's for little kids. I don't want to play that. So I didn't really give Mario Galaxy a try, but Mario Galaxy's on my list now as top 5 games I've played in the last 5 years. Mario Galaxy is a blast, like hands down. So Nintendo does this really cool thing where they see what they want to do, like they want to make something innovative and something new, and then they do it and they execute it really well. Like we spoke about Doom doing something new and id Software trying to do something new, and they didn't really get there, but they tried. Mario almost always hits. I can't think of a Mario game that tried something that new that didn't work, right?
What about Mario's Missing on the Super Nintendo? No, I'm just playing.
Are you talking about the educational game?
Yes.
I know what you're talking about. And yeah. I don't know. That almost doesn't even count.
As of late, as of the last,
last 20 years. Let's say the last 20 years.
Yeah.
They've done great. So if you look at Mario Galaxy, if you guys have played it, you have to play it. It's phenomenal. Like the first world, you're running around and you're upside down and you're a part of this gravity of this one tiny world, but like this, it's the size of, I don't know how big you'd say, like a building, right? It's not very big. And then you get to go to different galaxies, and like you have a hub world with not Rosalina, what's her name? Star chick. She wears the blue gown. I can't think of her name.
Pretty sure it is Rosalina.
Rosalina? Okay.
Yeah,
Rosalina.
I'm pretty sure.
All right. So she's in there, and you got to get all these stars and whatnot. Of course, you're trying to save Peach and whatnot, and dude, I loved it. And so getting back to my kids playing it, my son really likes Mario 64. So he would go through and he'd play the first level. He'd jump into the pictures and everything, and he'd really like it. And he doesn't really like always going into different levels because he can get killed. So he likes running around the castle and just playing the game, right? That's perfectly fine. And then when he jumped on my Mario Odyssey account or my game, and he found he can go to that same castle and in Mario Odyssey, and now he's a little better at video games. He loves just running around the castle in Mario Odyssey, and I think it was really cool to connect my childhood and his childhood, and kind of bridge that span of 20 years. So that's why I like it.
You mentioned that, and that's a really good point, man. It's like as a connecting thing, because I bought the Switch for my son back, and I mentioned this, I believe, on the first episode of the podcast, but I bought the Switch for my son back when Mario Odyssey first came out, because he really wanted one, and it was a total surprise to him, so it was a really cool, one of those cool Nintendo Christmas moments.
Yeah.
But it was the Mario Odyssey bundle, and he's always loved Mario, ever since he was a little boy. It's like I'd be playing a game, and he'd be right there sitting in my lap watching me play. But I bought him a physical copy of the Super Mario 3D All-Stars as well, because that was one of those ones where it's like, well, they're only selling it for a limited time, so you should probably get one when you can. So I bought a couple copies, but I sent it to him, and it was just so cool, hearing his impressions of Mario 64, like the Mario games that I grew up with,
right?
I think, when did Mario Galaxy first come out?
04, 05? No.
Was it 04, 05?
Yeah. Well,
Maybe I'm thinking Galaxy 2.
Well, when did the Wii come out? Because wasn't that a launch title
the
with
Wii?
The Wii?
In 2006, I believe. Because I remember, because I went home on vacation, and my mother and I waited outside at Target at 3 o'clock in the morning in the freezing temperature to get one. And we were the second to last in line to actually get one.
Awesome.
There's a lot of sad kids that day.
But not you, of course.
No, not me, but I wasn't a kid. I was a full-grown adult.
Mario Galaxy 2007.
Okay,
November
yeah,
1st.
that's what I
Yeah.
figured because that was 2 years before my son was born.
Okay. Yeah,
And I
I
was like,
just
wow, it's
graduated high
so
school.
cool, that my son, you know, I had that game on the Wii, when my son was born.
Yeah.
But now, he's old enough that he could play. I'm not sure if he was like super into it. He was like, oh, this is a cool little thing, but it was more for me getting it for him than it
Yeah.
was, for him. But
Right.
he enjoyed it. But I think the controls are a little different because, you look at Mario Odyssey versus Mario 64, it's almost like night and day,
Absolutely.
you know?
Yeah. And you bring up the controls. The controls are so uh tough back then. If you think about moving the camera angle around and you can't always move it around, well, in now games you can move the camera anywhere you want, so you can see everything.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating to go back to those games and try to move the camera, but you can't. So
Yeah. But you know what's weird on the other end of the spectrum there with the Mario titles is the side-scrolling ones, they're timeless. The graphics are timeless. They
yeah,
still look as good today
yeah.
as they did back then. Mario 64 doesn't look anything like it does in my memory. You know what I'm saying?
No,
But
it's
like Super
tough
Mario
too.
World looks amazing still.
Yeah.
It still looks amazing.
That's
So
16-bit.
it's something about those the pixel graphics, like the sprites. It's like just something about it is timeless.
Yeah.
3D graphics though won't always last forever.
No,
I've come to realize.
no, they won't. And if you look at it, people have to mod things to make their original hardware work on new TVs. Like, I don't know if I mentioned this in one of the other podcasts, but I know, Dave, I've told you, I have a separate TV just for my N64. Like, it's a smaller little LCD with the composite components, and it's not big. I think it's like a 17 or 18 inch. But if you get it much bigger than that, you start stretching the image out, and then it gets worse. Like, you need a smaller TV for your older 360 graphics, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you do,
So,
because I mean they weren't built to be widescreen.
yeah.
You
And
know?
then the other day I was playing Donkey Kong on my Super Nintendo. I was playing it on stream, just kind of goofing around.
Fun
And
country.
yeah, I was gonna try to play through Donkey Kong Country just to beat it. And I was getting tired, and I messed up a save, and it dropped me all the way back to the first world after I got to like the 15th. And I was like,
And
well,
then you
this
were like,
stream's
"I
over.
quit."
Yeah, I was like, I'm done.
I'll never play it again.
No, I'll get back into it. But I also pulled out of the game because my eyes were starting to hurt. I was like, why am my eyes straining? This should be pixel perfect. And I realized I have a very nice monitor. I have a 32-inch Dell monitor that can push 1440p at 180 frames a second. Not that my Super Nintendo is doing that. It's not anywhere near that. But it's hurting my eyes because it's a little stretched and it's a little strange. And I went back and I put it on the CRT scan lines that you can do with the classics, and it looked amazing. I was like, okay, that's how I have to play on this TV now. I have to use the fake or the add-in CRT scan lines, and it really made the image like nostalgic and look great. So
I'm really gonna have to go back. I gotta dig my little mini consoles out of storage. I need to play some of those again.
yeah,
Because it was such an awesome concept and such cool packaging and like the quality of the builds, minus the PlayStation one. That one unfortunately let me down quite a
no,
bit
like
because it was just a crappy version. But like the Super Nintendo, the Genesis one, even the NES or the regular Nintendo, those are awesome packages, man.
yeah,
Those are
it's a
awesome
blast.
packages.
It's a blast, but
PlayStation one was a fart though.
yeah, they could have done better on that one, right? But
Yeah, I
it
need
made
to
it.
do that thumb drive mod. That's what I
Yeah,
need to do.
I should have that too. But I remember playing, I think Tekken on a work trip. You and I played Tekken, and I had the PlayStation shipped out. I think I paid $30 for that, the PlayStation Classic, and I had my wife send it to us on that trip. And then we played a lot. I think it was Tekken, right? I think we played a lot of nights of Tekken.
Tekken's on there.
Yeah. And then is there another fighting game we got into? Because I think that was the only game we liked.
We did play a lot of beat 'em ups. We'd have some of the guys.
But I don't think that was on the
us and some of
PlayStation.
no, that was on the Super Nintendo.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I don't
But
know. I
anyways,
would have to look at what's available on that thing.
I
for me to
got-
actually remember what we played.
I feel like I got my money's worth out of the PlayStation Classic console.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Well,
I don't know.
especially since that sucker went on sale
Oh,
super quick.
immediately on sale. I
Yeah.
saw it at a store
it
like a month
started,
out. It was like 40
started at
bucks.
100.
Yeah.
It started at 100. It dropped down to like 30 or 25 pretty quick. Because everybody realized it's like, yo, Sony did not try on this one.
Yeah, that's so sad too.
Yeah.
Do you think Nintendo?
It's very unfortunate, man.
It is. Do you think Nintendo will ever do an N64 version, or do you think they're
They
gonna
might.
stay away?
I
mean, if they
would
want free
hope
money,
that- I would hope that they do. I would like that.
Yeah.
But you can never tell with Nintendo, man. Nintendo like does its own thing like all the time. They don't care what the demand is. They're going to do what they want, and guess what? You're going to buy it, fool. You know? I mean, that's how they feel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's how it is.
Yeah. I don't know. Nintendo's so weird. Like, you have people who love Sony or love Microsoft, and they will like hate the opposite, which I don't care anymore. I've grown out of that stage. I'm fine with whatever. But then everyone always is okay with Nintendo. And Nintendo has probably the least consumer, the least, what do they call that? They're not
Consumer
as nice.
friendly?
Yeah, they're not as consumer friendly as everybody else. Like, look at Microsoft. By far the most consumer friendly company I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, dude, you can go all the way back to the very first game that Xbox made and play it on your brand new Xbox, whatever the fuck they call
Absolutely,
it.
yeah. Almost any game that's ever come out on a Microsoft console, you can play as long as it's not like out of date with licenses and whatnot. It's the only reason you're not going to be able to play it. But Nintendo, you can't play games you bought on your Nintendo Wii. Like let's say you bought Donkey Kong on your or Wii U. You can't play that on your Switch. It's not going to happen. There's no.
No, and guess what? If you try and emulate it,
you're in trouble.
Oh boy, you're in trouble.
But yet we all love Nintendo so much. You know, it's such a weird dynamic and how they got
They're
us.
like, we don't want to sell it to you, but we don't want you to play it either.
Yeah.
It's like, I guarantee you, if they could go back and like put a kill switch into regular NES cartridges,
they would
that exist, they would.
Yeah.
They'd be like, nah.
They almost kind of did.
It's like, guess what? You want that Mario Duck Hunt combo cart?
Nope.
You're gonna have to buy it again, or wait for us to, think about releasing it.
Like back in the day when they had the batteries in the cartridges for your saves. Now, obviously, those have all died by now, but that's in a sense that's a way to kill it, because
they're easy enough to replace.
Yeah, but not
all it takes is
the normal
YouTube
person
video.
doesn't know that. Do you think everybody listening to this podcast knew that there were certain batteries in their JRPGs and their Super Nintendo cartridges? I doubt it.
Oh, no, probably not, man. I mean, all it is like a big old one of those disc.
Yeah.
It's
like
just a
flat
kind of a watch battery type thing.
That's super easy to change, but people don't know that. So
yeah.
But that is what it is. All right. That was a fun rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Man, this is
fun.
The
Rabbit Hole Podcast.
Dude, this is fun. Like, Mikey kept apologizing. I'm like, no, Mike, that's what I want you to do. That's what this is for. All right. So let me pull up my list. So we mentioned Mario Galaxy. I mentioned Celeste. I am doing this in no order, by the way. I'm just doing it how I feel like I want to talk about. And now I want to talk about Titanfall.
Sorry for being organized.
Yeah. Don't ever do that again. So Titanfall 2. That is, I think, my favorite. I got to put caveats in this, but it all started from Titanfall 2. And it all started on a work trip I was with Dave. And he said, you should try Titanfall 2. And I said, meh. I didn't like Titanfall 1.
I'm the one who introduced you to that.
You did.
Crap,
you absolutely
didn't even remember that.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know. Because, when Titanfall 2 came out.
Well, I don't know. That's stupid.
Battlefield 1.
What is this, Gundam?
Yeah, but I also played Titanfall. The first one, when it came out with the Xbox One, I think that was a launch or really close to launch title. And I didn't really like it. It was a multiplayer only game.
Well, it was online only. It was multiplayer only.
Yeah.
And I never actually played that one.
Yeah, I played it with my buddy a little bit, and it was okay. Like, this is something, but it was so hard to get anywhere. I don't know. I didn't really see the draw to it. I was whatever. And you told me to get Titanfall 2, and I knew about it, but I didn't care. And a lot of other YouTubers were like putting out like, hey, this is the best game no one bought. And then I did some research on Respawn and how they were one of the original. They were a bunch of guys from Call of Duty, Infinity Ward, I believe they were at Infinity Ward, and they left Infinity Ward, and they put up Respawn. Well, anyways, when Titanfall 2 was released, it was released really close to Battlefield 1, and I was at the time the Battlefield fanboy. I loved Battlefield 1. Actually, I still play. I might be showing Battlefield 1 gameplay right now because I know I made some for this podcast. But anyways, big Battlefield player. I love Battlefield 1. I have like 300 hours into it, and I never got around the Titanfall 2, and that kind of went by the wayside. And then Dave and I met each other. We hung out, and Titanfall 2 was like $5 or something on GameStop, so I bought it. And I couldn't put it down. The game is so good. So what really got me was the movement and the weapons. Everything felt tight, felt good, and it was kind of jumping. Oh, hold on. We lost audio. All right, so we had a disconnection issue, and I was talking about Titanfall 2, but I forgot where I was at. So
it's all my fault.
That's not a big deal.
Blame me.
So just to reiterate or kind of summarize where I was at with Titanfall, basically, I didn't give the game a chance. I was working on another game, Battlefield. Dave says, hey, try this game out. I saw it was on sale for like $5 at GameStop, so I picked it up from GameStop, played it. I couldn't put it down. Like, I had to set an alarm. I've never done this with a game before or after this, where I set an alarm to tell myself to stop playing so I wouldn't like play too much and beat the game too quick. Have you ever done that or like played too much of a game?
Yeah, I definitely have.
Okay.
You know me.
So
I get into it before I know I'm hearing birds chirping outside the window. Like, what happened?
Oh no, yeah, definitely. Everyone's done that, right? Like the last game I sort of did that with was Assassin's Creed 2. That one I played for 12 hours straight. And I was in college at the time, and I remember I bought a 12-pack of beer, and my intention was to play for like maybe an hour or 2 hours, go out with some friends. Next thing I know, like my 12-pack of beer is gone, but like I don't have a buzz whatsoever, and I'm a small guy. I should have been pretty messed up off a 12-pack, and I look at my watch. It's like 12 hours later. I was slowly drinking the beers, and I had no clue I was doing that. I was played the game so much. But anyways, getting back to Titanfall. Titanfall was great. I love the movement. It was everything I needed at that time. It was a lot different from the Call of Duties, but it was done right. And then fast forward a few months later, our buddy John, which he might be on the podcast next week. I tried to get him on today, but he's on vacation. Nice. Yeah, so he's interested in coming on, so we'll talk about it. But he told me to get on this game called Apex Legends. And I was like, no, that game's dumb. Because I had played like 3 rounds of it prior. And I remember I was playing and some little kid jumped on, some squeaker was on my team. And he was just the rudest kid ever. Like, I remember this from like 3 years ago. Like, I play a lot of online games, and this dude stuck with me, how rude he was. And so, obviously, he dies right away. And so, I didn't win the match, but I got a lot further than he did. And I left the game, and I went and I just deleted the game. And John wanted to play it with me, and I was like, no, that's dumb. But I'm like, eventually, I did. And I played that game for 2 years straight. Like, I have around 900 hours in Apex Legends. Like, it became a problem. That's how good that game is. It's
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it. That's all I have to say.
That game takes place in the Titanfall universe.
And yeah, that's why I brought that up.
Yeah, what I was expecting, and I haven't played Apex. I've downloaded it a couple times, deleted it, all that stuff. I need to get into it because our buddy John, he tried to get me into it as well. And there's a couple guys that I work with who've been playing it lately. But when that game was first announced, and it was all like, I was expecting at the end of that trailer to just be like, prepare for Titanfall.
Yeah, Titanfall 3.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, no. It's like as they're playing the game at the end of the trailer, it's like, hey, prepare for Titanfall. And then boom, I was expecting in that game a Titan to come down. Because, I mean, how's it going to take place in the Titanfall universe and not have Titans? You know,
They have
because
legends.
you know in the original game you're playing, it's a regular first person shooter, but then you build up your whatever and you get your Titan to come down, and then you can jump in and just wreck house.
Yeah.
You know, I was expecting that to be a feature in Apex.
Yeah.
But I mean, it didn't materialize. I mean, that's fine.
It might in the future.
It's its own thing.
It's still evolving and doing its like every season or like every 3 or 4 months they come out with a new legend or a new character to play with and a new weapon, and the game's getting to become too much. Like I've honestly put it down in the last month. Like I played maybe like 3 hours in the last month, which is normally what I play every day. It used to be about 3 hours, but it's become so much and almost a different game that I don't want to get into it anymore. You know, it's too stressful. It's too sweaty, and everyone has gotten so much better, and it's skill-based matchmaking. So people of your same skill or better than you you're playing against. And like I said, I've tried every advantage to get better. Like I bought the Xbox Elite 2 series controller. I bought a 1440p monitor that can run 120 frames per second. I have the Xbox Series X. Like I have the fastest internet I can get in my area, all to be better at Apex. That's really what it is. And it's
spending a lot of money on a free to play game.
I know. And I've never I never paid for the season pass. John actually bought it for me for Father's Day like 2 years ago. He bought me a season pass. Yeah, it was really nice of him because I had him over for dinner a few times when he lived in the area. And I've always like, so if you beat this, like if you unlock everything in the season pass, you also unlock enough credits to unlock the next season pass. So I've been doing that ever since season 5. Now we're on season 12.
Kind of a Fortnite deal.
Yeah, it's the same idea.
Yeah.
But this will be the first or the second season since then I haven't finished. I had a lot of work to do in like season 8. I didn't get to finish. I was transitioning on a job site, doing a lot of work where I couldn't be playing video games. But now this season too. But this one is by choice though. I've come to realize I have put too much time into that game. And if you guys look at my channel, the whole Mr. Super Potato channel came from Apex. I have over 100 videos on Apex and games that I played with the guys. So if you want to know who I'm talking about, John, he's Jason Bourne, and I've had many videos with him in here, and you guys can look into that if you'd like. But that's all I'm going to talk about Apex. Apex is probably my #1 game in the last 5 years. I think it has to be since I played 3 years of it. So,
you know, I purposefully left Destiny 2 off of this list
of
ours because, I mean, it has been a little over a year since I have played it.
Yeah.
But, man, just like you were saying with Apex, it was taking up all my time. And, you know, I did mention this before on, you know, the first episode of the podcast and stuff, but too much of my time, man. I had too many games sitting on the shelf collecting dust while I'm just doing the same exact thing over and over in Destiny every day.
It you know, kind of became a problem. I almost felt like I needed to go to like Apex Anonymous
or some shit.
yeah, like that's all I would think about, and I would watch other YouTubers to try to get an advantage on what the new meta was for this week, or like different escape routes and stuff. It is so much fun though. It really is. At the end of the day, it's a ton of fun just being with your friends and goofing around playing a game, and you really feel like you're connected with each other. But at the same time, if I want to be like involved in gaming, I need to be in gaming, meaning multiple games, not singular. So and this podcast and my streaming has really pulled me out of it. And also acquiring a PS4, and I can check out all these new games or different games in the last console generation that I can now appreciate and be a part of the conversation. And that's really pulled me away from Apex. So, all right, that's enough about Apex for me. What you got next on your next game, or for your next game?
Let me pull up my notes. My phone keeps going to sleep on me. So last was 2020. So now we're into 2021. My game of 2021 is Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. So I don't know. Have you played that
No,
at
but
all?
every time I see it, I think of you.
Do you intend to?
Absolutely
Ever?
not.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it figures. I was really hoping, Mikey would be on this podcast because I wanted to talk to him because he did mention that he would possibly pick it up.
Yeah.
I did kind of want to bounce some things back and forth with him, but
Well,
this is a fun game, man.
okay.
This is a fun game. Like, no, I'll talk about it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't need Mikey. I don't need Mikey here. No, I'm just playing. Love you, Mikey. But it is fun. It is cool. And I mentioned on the last one it's kind of a remix of the first two Ghosts and Goblins games. So Ghosts and Goblins and then Ghouls and Ghosts. So it's a mix, kind of a remash, type deal. It does the whole you beat the game the first time and it's like, oh, it's an illusion, and then you're sent back to the beginning except with harder levels now.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, son of a bitch. But it's like, what did I expect? Every single game in the series does this. But for this one, at least it has 4 difficulty levels. There's a feature where you can slow it down. You know what I'm saying? It's like a metronome feature is what they call it. You can slow it down, or you can fast forward it up to 2 times if you really are a masochist. And then,
oh my gosh.
There's all the weapons. Obviously, you want to get the knife. Get the knife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just fun. And now if you play on the lower difficulties, if you play on the lowest difficulty, you can't do like there's these things called hell holes where you got to find a certain treasure chest and kill the wizard that's inside it and beat all those to get the true ending. I haven't done any of that yet. I'm still like 6 trophies away from the platinum trophy, but I've been playing a little bit every day. I've noticed that you cannot play this game for long stretches of time. Otherwise you will break something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Ugh.
My patience runs a little thin, so I got to take little breaks. But that's what I've been working on, day to day. Just maybe an hour or two, maybe one stage at a time. Unlocking all the little things. And there's these stupid collectibles called Umbral Bees. There's like 230 something of them that you got to get to unlock all the magic abilities and the skills and stuff like that. And that's like, oh my goodness. And you don't just find them. They're not just floating there. You got to hit certain parts of the stages, or you got to jump on a certain thing, or you got to kill a certain enemy, before it disappears. But the cool thing is on the lower difficulties, like if you get hit, you don't lose your whole set of armor. And
Okay.
you're just in your underwear. So you lose a chunk of your armor.
Okay,
which is
so
nice.
it's
So you
3
can get
hits
hit
versus
more than
2.
Well, it's like 4 hits, I think.
Okay.
So you lose like a section, like maybe you lose the arms, or you lose the shirt, or you lose the pants, or something like that. But once you're in your underwear, you're done.
Yeah.
If you get hit again.
Yeah. You're one shot.
And there are checkpoints now, which is cool. There's no lives. It's just you can just continue to continue. So it is more user friendly, but it is still that same unfair shit that the series is known for.
Yeah.
From back in the arcade days.
I remember I played that
they
with
want you
you.
to pump them quarters in, man.
Yeah. I think you and I played Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Is that right for the SNES?
Yes.
That's the same game though, right? And you had like almost memorized the first level and tell me what I need to do and what I need to get. It just seems so difficult and unnecessary for me to learn. Like you find enjoyment in games I find torture in. Like I don't mean to like make fun of you, but I can't do that. And I'm glad you like these games. I'm glad you found this for yourself, but no, that just sounds terrible.
Well, I found the series a long time ago. I mentioned it before, but it's just one of those good, happy childhood memories that comes back, even though I was ripping my hair out as a kid trying to, like, why can't I kill these zombies? Why do these zombies keep coming back? But I mean, and it's kind of a double-edged sword because you're like, oh, you find enjoyment in games that I hate. And it's like, it makes it hard for me to convince you to play a good game. Otherwise, I almost feel like I'm the boy who cried wolf when I'm like, dude, you got to play this game. You're like, nah.
I mean, I'll try the games, right? I've always said I'll try something, but if I know what the game's about, like Ghosts and Goblins, I understand what that's about. I've played that. Like I have versions of that. I don't see the new game, the new version being different from the older versions. You know, like I appreciate it and I'm happy those games are out there for you, but I'm not gonna go out and pick something up like that and give it a shot because I know I'm not gonna like it. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
it's like
it's not for everybody for sure.
Right. So, but I'll listen to you. You know, I really love hearing your enjoyment and you getting a thrill out of it. But I just know I never will. So yeah, man. I think I shot you a message when I heard that was coming out. I think it was on
you did. You're the one who tipped me off. You sent me the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always on YouTube watching new news stuff and whatnot, so I thought of you immediately. So, but all right, I'll go into my next game, and we talked about this a little bit, but I'll go more in depth into it, and that's Mario Odyssey. Once again, my list is in no order, but Mario Odyssey, and I'm not going to get into my kid playing it, which my kid plays it a ton. It actually plays it more than anybody in this house, but I think Mario Odyssey is one of my top games because this depth of it, right? I picked it up with my Switch, right? I bought a Switch like 6 months after the Switch came out, and I saw somebody on Twitch playing Breath of the Wild, and I thought, wow, this is a really new thing. Like, I got to get back in Nintendo. And then instead of buying Zelda, I first bought Mario Odyssey. And I had no idea what I was getting into because I wasn't really into gaming as much at that time. I was more in, I was on an Xbox One and I was on Battlefield and all that. I wasn't giving anything else a shot. And when I picked up Mario Odyssey, it was so great. Like the new mechanic where you throw your hat, that's really fun. And then when you can take over the life form of something else, I think the first thing you take over is a frog and you jump really high. I don't know if you remember getting to that part.
Yeah.
And just the neat mechanics. Like once again, Nintendo made something completely new. You know, I had a new idea and it was really fun to do. And then my wife, I gave her the Switch, right, to play, and she loves it. Like the only two games she's really played since I've been married to her was she played Mario Galaxy years ago on a Wii, right? Like I didn't play it because once again I'm like, that's a baby game. I don't need to play that even when I was married, right? So she played Mario Galaxy nonstop, and then she didn't play any games ever until Mario Odyssey came out, and she would be sitting next to me in bed playing the game, and I'd have to roll over and be like, you need to stop so I can go to bed. Like, I love
Put some headphones on.
It's not that, it's the clicking of the button. Like, she's like, you know, I hate to tell her to quit playing games, but she's the type of gamer who she's a completionist one, which absolutely annoys me. I can't handle completionists. I just want to like get the story, enjoy it, and kind of move on, where she can't leave a level until she has gotten everything in that level. So it makes it really hard when a lot of things don't open up until later in the game when you've beaten multiple levels and you can come back. And I've tried to explain that to her, but whatever. But that's why I like Mario Odyssey, man. It got my wife kind of more in the gaming, and we've been playing It Takes Two lately. We streamed that the other night, and it's really fun to play games with her and just kind of get the whole family into it. I just think Mario Odyssey is a really good way to do that. So,
you know, that I loved Mario Odyssey. I think this is a great game. Once I got to the end game, though, I kind of was like, okay, I'm gonna put this away for now because I don't need to go and get 666 more moons or you know, whatever it is. But
I think that's where we're still at.
Yeah. I was like, you know, it was super fun while it lasted, but I beat the game. You know, I don't need, this isn't like 120 stars on Mario 64. This is like 1,000 freaking moons. I'm not gonna do all of this.
Right.
But it was fun, and I'll get back to it at some point. You know, but you mentioned It Takes Two.
Yeah. And
I saw some of your streaming of that, and that's cool. It's one of those little like co-op 2-player games.
Yep.
Right? Where you work together.
Yep.
I think it's also made by a developer who made a game called A Way Out.
Yes, it is.
I think that game was really fun. I played that with at the time my girlfriend. You know, now I'm married to her, but we played that together, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Actually,
Isn't
so
it?
I'm
Is your wife, or now I guess ex-girlfriend, right? Get it? Haha. But your wife, is she a gamer? Like, does she play? No. Okay. So my
no.
wife really isn't either, other than Mario Odyssey once in a while. Actually, she beat Bowser's Fury like 2 weeks ago. But
Yeah, I get my wife to sometimes play some games. I bought her a Switch. I bought her those NES, SNES minis. You know, it's like I've been trying to groom her into playing games, but if that's not what she wants to do. But she does play some stuff. Like she plays her, Animal Crossing lately.
yeah,
Um
it's basically
I
a
bought her
phone game.
that yeah, pretty much. But I mean it is fun.
Yeah.
And I got into it when all the COVID stuff, started happening. I got real into Animal Crossing.
I refused to buy a $60 game that I never intended to play. So no.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the I also just we got her the Kirby Forgotten Land. You know that Mikey's been talking about a lot.
Yeah.
And it looks really cool, man. I've seen her playing it on the TV, and I'm like, oh, dude, I kind of want to play this. Like, and I love Kirby games. Don't get me wrong. I will play this one at some point. Like, my love for Kirby goes all the way back to the NES and the Game Boy, Kirby games.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, I got to deal with my youngest son that he's getting tired of the demo. You know how I told you that he'll just play the demo over and over again?
He thinks he keeps beating it.
Yeah, well, my wife tipped him off and said, that's just the demo. That's not the full game. Well, he's like, I want the game. So I made a deal with him.
Is she ready to buy it?
Well, no, she doesn't have a job. So it's all on me. And I was like, I told him, like, so he has
Sucks
this.
to suck, loser.
Yeah. He's got this book of like letters. So he's 3, right? Like 3 1/3 or whatever. And it's a book of like, you trace the alphabet and the different numbers. Right? It's a pretty thick book. It helps him with their penmanship. And my oldest son has very good penmanship because we bought it for him to my oldest son to work on his letters. Well, he didn't need this book. And I told my youngest son, if you finish this book, if you fill out all the pages, we'll buy you Kirby. And he's working on it, so we'll see.
Oh yeah, man! You always got to have like some kind of incentive in there.
Yeah,
and it's good for him too.
Yeah. And I think Kirby's really really cool for both my kids because the colors are really vibrant. And whenever my youngest son is playing Kirby, my oldest son stops what he's doing and he likes to watch him play Kirby, which makes me think, okay, maybe my oldest son will get into gaming. Because I really want him to get into it. He just hasn't taken to it yet. So
yeah,
I think he will eventually. And
yeah, in time, man.
Yeah, I'm not pushing on it, but I do notice these things. And so I'm like, okay, maybe Kirby's going to come. Which brings me to another point. I just re-downloaded Zelda's Link's Awakening because it's got that same bright art style, kind of like Kirby. So maybe my youngest son will start playing Link's Awakening and my oldest son will maybe look at that too. So we'll see. I don't have much hope into that one.
So speaking of the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake, right? Because you just mentioned it, that was one of my runners up for the 2019.
Okay.
And it was beaten by Death Stranding. But Link's Awakening is one of my favorite games of all time. The original Game Boy version was, but the Switch version, that remake, very good, definitely. I think if you can kind of guide your son along on like the puzzles and stuff, because I can see how sometimes some of that stuff's a little off the wall, like what you got to do for the puzzles. I think he'd find a lot of enjoyment out of it, but you might have to be there to kind of guide him a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to wait until he can read to get into those Zelda games. Like Mario, you don't really need to read. You just got to jump on the Goomba's head and then you move on. Whereas Link's... Yeah. In Zelda games, you really got to read and figure out what to do next. And I'm in my mid-30s and I have a hard time with it. So I'm not going to expect like a lot out of him as far as that goes. But eventually... But it was really cool about having kids in gaming. Like, I can justify buying Kirby, right? Like, a dude in his mid-30s shouldn't buy Kirby for himself. I guess you can, because...
What is that supposed to mean?
You know what I'm saying? Like, But if my son wants, I can be like, I'm not a weirdo. My son wants this, you know. So
Yeah, I did buy it for my daughter's birthday back in March.
okay,
So, and she's enjoying it, but
Yeah.
my son's also playing it. So
yeah,
that's why I buy physical for the kids so they can like share the cartridge. Problem is, eventually one of them's going to lose the cartridge.
yep.
You know.
Oh, okay. So I want to go on another tangent, and we discussed this. I think when you and I had our first podcast together, when we were talking about physical versus not like physical versus digital gaming, and why I believe digital is the way to go. First off, losing the game, right? We had mentioned that that's a big deal, but there's a problem right now. Turok, I think it's Turok.
What? What about Turok?
No,
What did Turok do to
it's
you?
not Turok. It's developer of a game. I forgot exactly what game was on Switch, but it was a port from an older game. I forgot exactly which one it was. But anyways, if you have a brand new Switch that has never been updated, it will not run certain games. Just flat out.
let me give you some insight on this. Actually, it's limited run games. It's the Doom Classics collection.
That's what it was. Okay.
So if your Switch or your PS4 or whatever, for whatever reason in the world, maybe you want to keep it for modding, maybe, you know, whatever, you have never connected to the internet on it.
Yep.
If you have that Doom Classics collection, it will not work.
Okay.
For whatever reason. I don't know why. I didn't really get into it because it doesn't really affect me personally.
Yeah. Yet. So
one
one day
I do understand for collectors, you know, if I was to go to resell it and somebody's like, you know, 30 years from now, somebody's like, I have a Switch that's never been on the internet because I like to, you know, I'm going to mod it and stuff. It's like,
yeah, okay.
I'm not buying your Doom Classics collection because it won't
right.
work. It's like, dude, I don't know, man.
I don't care. That's not for them. But like,
yeah,
for you in say 30 years, 40 years, whatever the time is, you're still going to be holding on to these things. That's why it's called a collector's edition. It's for you, right? So
yeah, I'm being buried in
it. Right. So eventually, like your Switches, something's going to happen to a Switch. You're going to have to re-download stuff. Well, the servers are going to be down, and it's not going to matter if you have the cart or not.
Yes.
If the servers are not up for these games, it doesn't matter. Like let's just look at Halo Infinite. The full game is not even on that disc. If you buy Halo Infinite, which if you do, you're stupid because all you need is a Xbox Game Pass subscription. And if you have an Xbox, you don't have that subscription, I don't know what's wrong with you. It is the greatest deal in gaming. But anyways,
well, some people are collectors.
Right, okay, that's fine. If you're a collector and you want to be extra, awesome, do it.
What is that supposed to mean?
just scoop it around.
Be extra, all right.
But the full game's not even on that disc. So once again, when those servers go down, which they will eventually, right? In 20 years, those servers are going to be down. You're not going to be able to play that game anymore if you have it physical or not.
There's a lot of games like that, man. Like any of the COD games.
Absolutely.
Battlefield games. Apex. Yeah. Apex doesn't even have a disc. You know, you'll never be able to play that again. Destiny 2, you won't be able to play that.
Right.
You know.
Right. So
servers die eventually.
So my point is there's no point of having physical. Or in the future there will not be. But like I think PS3 and PS4, some PS4 games are the last ones that you're not going to need, that a disc is going to work, right, forever, you know? So I think physicals only really matters for like the generations that we grew up with. They're kind of done.
Well, you got to think, though. It's like you can take, like I could take my PS3 offline, and as long as it's not an online game where, you know, it requires the internet to play offline. You know what I'm saying? Like single player DRM or anything like that, which, you know, some games do that.
Yeah, that's not fun.
I'll still be able to play, you know, I'll be able to play my physical version of Terminator Salvation on the PS3. You know, I'm not going to have to worry about anything like that.
Right, but in the future we will.
Digital in the future.
In the future.
Well, no, if I'm offline, it won't matter.
Okay, so if you're offline, Oh, okay, not with your PS3, but say your PS5, all the games you have on PS5 right now, right? In 30 years from now, we're not going to be able to play these games. It's just not going to happen. Unless you keep it, if it's not a DRM only game, right? If you can play it offline, which that's going to go away soon. If you're just looking at Gran Turismo 7, right? Sony's already, messing around with this just because they feel like it.
Yeah, they kind of dropped the ball on that one.
That's what they're going to. That's what everyone's leaning towards, So that's just the way it's going to go in the future. And I'm not a big collector. I like having things. That's great, but I don't care to have all this extra plastic and these discs that are going to be useless in the future. So
that is a thing. I'm a collector for my own satisfaction. I like seeing my shelf. I like seeing all the cool stuff on my shelf. I like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I'll donate it to a charity, or I'll pass it along to my son and my daughter. But here's the thing: these game companies, guys, everybody listening right now, you guys got to understand, with all this console war shit going on, it's like these guys are not your friends.
No,
they're not here to be your friend. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. They care about you as far as your wallet goes. All right. They want you to buy their shit. That's it. They don't care if, they don't care that I played the Mario and Duck Hunt combo cart on NES. They don't give a shit.
Right.
They want me to buy it again.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's the end of it. I mean, it's all pretty during all these little, the game shows and like PS Direct or Nintendo Direct, or was it the State of Play for Sony, or E3, and the Game Awards, all that stuff. They make it all flowery, and they make it like, oh, we're all a big family here. We all love gaming. Let's all be good to each other. No. These companies do not care about you.
They're there to make money. That's it. Yep. They're just as bad as Google or McDonald's. Yep. And right now, the gaming industry is bigger than the movie and TV industry combined.
Like, of course it is.
They so how they have these movie stars and everyone looks out to these people as idols and whatnot. What everyone should be looking at is like developers, because these gaming developers they have the biggest influence in media. Well, I guess they don't have the biggest influence in media. They have the biggest influx of cash in all of media. Like, they make the most money. That's just the way it is right now, which I think is awesome.
I should put a little caveat on my previous statements. That applies to like Sony. That applies to Microsoft. That applies to Nintendo.
Right.
The individual developer, the person who grew up with a passion for gaming, who went to go work for a gaming studio, and they put their heart and their soul, their blood, sweat, and tears into it. They care about us. They want us to have a good time. They want us to play these games and stuff, but they work for the bigger company, and the bigger company is the one who does not care, who does not want us to, they don't care if, we got to buy the same game 100,000 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want us to buy the same
like
game,
the little guy, the guy who he grew up just like we did playing these video games. He followed his dream or her dream and, works in the industry.
Yep.
They care until they get jaded, Yeah. I don't know. It's like they care because they're like, yeah, man, I want people to enjoy my game. And then they get beaten down by the studios telling them, hey, add a multiplayer into this game that doesn't need a multiplayer. But why? Well, because it'll sell better.
Exactly.
But this game doesn't need multiplayer. Yes, it does.
Well, that brings me on to my next point, or just something we can talk about. Did you hear about Microsoft adding ads in the games, in like a single player games?
And Sony, I just saw that Sony's thinking about it too, to rival Microsoft. And it's like, guys, y'all add shit into my games that's more than a billboard that I drive by in the game, then I'm going somewhere else. I'm not going to sit here and have my game paused.
Yep.
For a 5-minute ad stream. It's not going to happen.
And that's what it's going to go to. It's going to start small, and they've been doing that. I don't know if anyone's
been
not
doing it
noticed
for years
this.
and years and years.
Yeah.
Like even back in PlayStation 1, there were billboards for other things in there,
And I noticed it, and I'm like, well, That's fine. I don't really worry about it. But it'd be like the same deodorant ad over and over and over again, right? So eventually you're going to notice it. It's going to get annoying. But
if I'm in the middle of a boss battle and a Brute deodorant ad pops up on the screen, I'm going to lose my shit.
Yeah. It's a slippery slope, right? Everyone I've heard online, they're just saying it's not going to be that bad. It's going to be okay. Like, no, it's going to be bad because these companies are greedy. Like you just said, they're not there to make you happy. They're there to make them money and make their shareholders money, right? I'm as a consumer, I am generally concerned, and I think we're going to be able to speak up about it. So we'll see. Like we're gonna have to all make videos and kind of band together because we can't downvote things anymore because they took that away from us because they realized that we have too much power doing that. So now we're gonna have to have people like you and me and real YouTubers. I guess I'm not a real YouTuber yet, but
yeah, you are.
If I become a real YouTuber,
you've been doing it for like what 2 years now, right?
No, I've been doing it hard. 7 months maybe with the Apex stuff, and then now I'm away from that. It's really been a month.
I think you're doing pretty good, man.
Yeah, I do it for fun. But anyways, the customer base is going to have to speak out when it becomes too much, and we are going to have to legitimately talk with our wallets. Like when Battlefield 5 came out and that looked like a mess, I didn't buy it. As a huge Battlefield fan, when the head of DICE, that's the developer or the producer for Battlefield, said if you don't like it, then don't buy it. I said, Roger that, brother. Okay. I ain't buying it. I bought it on sale. But
all right, bet. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what you want to tell me as your consumer, and I'm one of your biggest fans. I'm not buying it. So that bit them in the ass.
Sometimes there's a disconnect. It's like they forget.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, talk shit on your fans.
But then they also expect
buying this shit.
They expect and they know like their largest chunk of people are their casual gamers who are going to buy the same game every year. They don't really look at what's going on in the news. They're not listening to podcasts like this. They're certainly not creating their own podcast. And they're just walking in, seeing a billboard on the side of the street or in their new video game to go like, buy the next game.
COD.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, they have no clue what's going on with COD. So they probably have no idea what's going on with Activision, and they don't even know who Activision is.
Yeah,
you know?
And they don't care.
No, they don't care. You know? I was like that for a while too.
Call of Duty, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And if that's what you want to be, that's fine. But you're in a sense hurting the rest of the industry. So, but I'm a casual fan of other things too. Like I'm a super casual baseball fan. I like to catch a game. I watch 2 games a week, but I can't tell you any given day like what the opposite team's doing. Like if today the Cubs played the Pirates, I couldn't tell you anything about the Pirates, but I could tell you a vague description of the Cubs, meaning I'm a casual watcher of baseball. Whereas if I'm not like I'm guilty of what I'm saying people are guilty of in video games, but I am guilty of that for baseball. If that makes sense. I'm trying to relate it here.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. You know, it's like a vast majority of gamers, they have like a PS4 or a 360 or a One or, you know, anything like that. And the only games they play is the newest Madden.
Yeah.
And the newest COD. And that's 100% fine.
Yeah,
you know,
it's fine.
It's like a lot of times I think that, you know, the guys who collect shit or the guys and gals who collect stuff like, you know, me, you know, anybody else, we're kind of the minority.
Oh, by far. By far,
you know, the ones who listen to the podcast, the ones who watch all these YouTube videos, and you know, all of these people, we're the minority when it comes to gaming. You know, it's like you got the people who they go to the store. Oh shit, a new COD's out. All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
and that's fine too.
Yeah. Well, let's pull us back on topic here. Do you want to finish your list? Because you got a couple more here that I'm curious about a few. And I'll let you get to them.
My last one would be for 2022 Horizon Forbidden West. And we've spoken about that one.
Okay.
prior. I just wanted to state, it's like, yes, 2022 so far, my game of the year is Horizon Forbidden West.
That's funny because I was planning on playing a little Horizon Zero Dawn tonight.
Oh, nice, dude.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's
Play
getting
it, man.
10:15. We'll see.
Oh yeah, it's pretty late still. Well,
Yeah.
it's Saturday.
Yeah, I got to get up at 8 tomorrow. So.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing I did want to mention was for my 2021, I kind of swapped my 2021 game of the year from Returnal to Ghost and Goblins Resurrection.
Okay.
But Returnal, it's a PS5 game. That was a good game. It's a really good game. It's almost like a those like space shooters, like kind of like Galaga, Galaxian, or anything modern from that type. It's kind of like that, but in a 3D plane as a person on foot. It's
okay,
really
so
cool.
is it like Nier Automata? Did you play that game?
No. I have those games, but I have not played them. It's like these enemies, they shoot out like patterns of fire from them. And you got to kind of learn their patterns and dodge it and stuff. But you're this chick or this female astronaut, and when you die, you respawn at the beginning, but she's aware. She knows that she's in some kind of loop.
Yeah.
And it's really cool, man. But you don't carry anything over from your death. So it's like, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's like a roguelike. Is it like a roguelike in a sense? Is it different every time?
Very much like that. It's like a roguelike plus a bullet hell shooter.
Okay.
Is what I would call it. Yeah.
So
but it's
got
really
tired of the roguelikes when Dead Cell, is that the right name for that? Dead Cells was out. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah. The guy with a flame for a head. Or
whatever. So I bought that on Switch, and I played it pretty good. And
I think I bought it around the same time you did.
Yeah, I think that's when you and I first met, when that came out. And I didn't really enjoy it, man. I couldn't get into it. Like, I think I played like 4 hours of it, and I couldn't get past the second world. And I know you got to build up your tolerance, and you do get stuff, the more and more you get into it. I just like, I'm good.
Yeah, you kind of got to bank your stuff. It's like a Metroidvania roguelike. You got to kind of. Yeah, I played that not too long ago. Actually, I picked it up again and played it for a little bit, but yeah, I kind of agree with you. It's cool. The premise is cool. The graphics are cool. I like the style.
Yeah, and that's what kind of made me hesitant on Hades, because Hades was supposed to be this amazing game, but it's another roguelike. I bought
that on PS5 actually, but I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, well, when you play it, let me know, and then I think it's on Xbox Game Pass, but I just haven't picked it up because I'm just like, I don't want to go through that torture. Not torture, but it's kind of boring to me, right? Like, so you're playing a roguelike, and I guess you're supposed to be able to build up stamina, and like you said, bank stuff, but then you die and you start over, and you make progress, but you feel like you don't make progress, and so that's what makes me feel like I don't get the satisfaction of it, I guess, is what I'm saying. So I don't pick those games up. When they say it's a roguelike, I immediately just say no in my head. But that's me.
Well, you seem to be pretty fond of, if I remember correctly, Hollow Knight.
That's not a roguelike. That's more
Isn't
of a... No, that's a Metroidvania.
Oh, yeah. I
you
guess
got to play that one.
Kind of a Metroidvania Souls type.
Now, have you played Hollow Knight?
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay.
I've played it. I like it okay.
I thought it was good.
Very good at it.
Oh, I'm terrible at it. Of course I put it down. I couldn't figure out a way to cheese it, and I was on a short work trip playing it, and I got kind of far into it, and then I started looking up guides how to like get through it, and then I got stuck on a boss. So it's one of those games where if you die, you lose like all of your they call them gems in that game, or stones or something.
Yeah,
and
it's a Souls type. You got to go back.
You gotta go back, and you gotta beat that
before you die
boss. Again. Yeah. So you got to be able to get back before you die, and if you die again, then you definitely lose everything. So I think I was at a boss, and I just couldn't get past him, and I wasn't about learning his techniques. But it was an awesome game. The art style is what really kept me engaged. It is a beautiful game, and the whole process behind it, it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. I think I put about 10 hours into it, so worth it. I wish I had a little more patience. Maybe one day. We'll see.
Yeah, one day when we retire and
Yep.
we actually have time to play all this crap.
Yeah, but that's going to be a game like you said, the original Mario's, where it's going to age really well. Like,
oh yeah, dude. I mean, the graphics. I don't see like animation style graphics aging poorly.
no, that's going to look good. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm okay with letting that sit on my shelf and get nice and dusty. Although I have it digitally, and the servers can get turned off, and well, it could go away. It's on my
I don't think
Switch.
that's even out physically. I don't think there's even a physical.
Yeah,
copy
you're.
of that.
I don't know. I don't think I've seen it on the shelf, other than like a box with the digital code. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it on Switch.
Oh, yeah,
so.
like one of those things you'll see at Best Buy. It comes with like a little stuffed animal or a plushie or whatever, but it also comes with a digital code. I just bought one of those for Shovel Knight the other day. I bought Shovel Knight again.
How many times is that?
Probably 5 or 6 on different consoles.
Awesome.
But this time I gave, my wife didn't have it for some reason, so I gave her the digital code. I just wanted the little Shovel Knight plushie, honestly.
How's your wife like Shovel Knight?
She hasn't played it yet. She's still on that Kirby. Oh, and I had also bought her the Ori and the Blind Forest little new game plush thing.
All right, that's another game I gotta play.
Little stuffed animal and the digital code. It's a pretty cool little platformer.
Yeah, I played the demo, crazy. I think, or I downloaded it on Xbox, because I believe that developer is now owned by Microsoft. I can't think of it, and I don't remember why I'm thinking that. I could be completely wrong, but I know it's on Game Pass, so.
And it's on Switch, so I don't know if it's like owned by Microsoft, but it's a cool little platformer. It's fun.
Yeah.
Cool art style.
Yeah. I like it. I played like the beginning of the first one, the Ori the Blind Forest, right? And it was pretty sad. So
yes, it was.
Like the first,
my wife was like, why did you get me this depressing game? And I'm like, hey, look, I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
I don't know why I forgot about that part, because I got sad when I first played it, but
yeah. So I didn't get any further than that. I was like, man, this kind of hurts. And I put it away. And I think I honestly is when I picked up Hollow Knight. I think that was about the time I was playing those games. So I went back to Hollow Knight, but I just want to hit some things right here. On your list, you had Control, and Control's another game where I bought twice. I bought it on my computer. My computer can run it, but not well. And then I bought it again on my Xbox. And I've gotten further on my Xbox than I was on my PC, but I'm stuck. I'm at a point where I can't figure out where the F to go. And so I put the game down. It seems like a game I would love, because you have the telekinesis, and I just, whatever reason, telekinesis is my favorite power in video games. Like, I think it's ever since Half-Life 2, when you got the gravity gun, in a sense, telekinesis, kind of.
Yeah.
And it always reminds me of that. And I don't know, man. I'm stuck on Control, and I just put it down.
Well, maybe you should give it a chance. If you need to look up what you got to do, you should do that, because it's a really cool game. I had it on PS4, or I have it on PS4. I've been thinking about buying the PS5 version, which is a separate edition, so I wouldn't be able to carry over my save or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of hesitant on that, but it takes place in the Alan Wake universe.
Yep.
And I just recently bought Alan Wake for the PS5, like the remaster. And once upon a time on 360, back when Alan Wake was an Xbox exclusive, I bought that, but I just couldn't get into it back then. So I think sometime soon I'm going to give myself another shot at, finishing Alan Wake, finding out what that's all about, and then seeing how it ties together with Control, because I really enjoyed Control. At first I was like, oh, this is kind of super creepy. I don't know if I'm going to like this, but then I kind of realized that, okay, it's not as creepy as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I
don't do like super spooky games very well.
I find it
especially
cringy.
In VR.
Only cringy in the sense of the girl's always talking to herself in her head, right? So it kind of gives the player an idea.
Weird. Yeah, it is super weird. It's like, what is this broad babbling? She's just sitting here staring at this other character that was just speaking to her, having a whole conversation in her own head, like,
Yeah.
This person's expecting a reply.
You're just sitting there. And she calls the bad premise or the bad spirits the hiss, and she's all proud about how that's catching on. And all of a sudden, she comes in as like a janitor or something, or like I don't know how she comes in as like a new employee, and then the next scene, she's the head director.
Yeah, she's the director. She wakes up with the gun in her hand or something like that.
Yeah, and now like director as she's the boss of this entire place, but she hasn't even taken a tour of it yet, and it's all on lockdown. You got to unlock it slowly, and
that'd be like at our job, somebody who's literally brand new, been in like less than a day, comes in and starts telling you what to do.
Yeah, exactly,
like,
exactly. No,
I don't know about all that.
But yeah, I just okay. And the other thing that puts me off is I don't want to ruin this for anybody, but I'm gonna break it. Their teeth, how they animated teeth in this game, bothers me.
Because I'm gonna have to look at it again because I'm not sure if I know what you're talking about.
So like the facial animations are fine, but if you like look inside the mouth, like for whatever reason, their mouths are almost always open when they're talking or just looking at their teeth, and it's off. It doesn't look right to me. But
yeah, I'll have to look at that again. I'm not sure if I remember what you're talking about.
It's most noticeable when it's towards the beginning of the game and you meet the other girl, the other director girl. I can't think of her name, but she was like second in charge of the director, and then you become the director, so now she's like your assistant kind of, and you're at this big oval table at like the main hub where everything's at kind of. And she's just sitting there, and I remember at one point like her mouth was open long enough for me to like pan the camera around and look in at her and be like, why are your teeth so weird? It pulled me out of the game, but I don't know. And there seems to be a difficulty spike every now and then in that game, so it kind of like pulls me away. I don't like difficulty spikes. I like the game to get more increasingly difficult, but I don't like it to spike. So
yeah, you don't like that cliff.
Yeah,
like you're walking up to a cliff.
Exactly. So
type thing. Yeah.
But the game, I feel like the game would be great. I guess I needed a little bit of motivation and someone to kind of push me through my next spot or where I'm stuck at, or I guess maybe just get a strategy guide or pull one up. So
that'd probably be the best bet. I've been thinking about trying to play through it again. Well, like I said, on the PS5 because it's a completely different version. It's not like I can transfer my save over or anything. But I do have the platinum trophy on PS4.
Look at you.
But I did not complete the DLC.
Okay.
However,
I want to move on to one more game you have on here, and that is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
What an awesome game. Dude, I'm telling you, that was close for my game of the year that year as well.
Yeah.
It just got edged out by Death Stranding.
Okay.
But I loved that game. And that was one of those it's kind of like a Souls light almost, if you know what I'm saying. It's kind of like a Dark Souls type, but not as much of a pain in the ass to play. And it took me a little while to get into it. But once you get into it, you're in it. And it's like, yes, this is awesome. This is cool.
I agree with that statement.
You like the characters, you like the story.
Yeah. I agree with that statement, except for if you're me, I couldn't stay into it. Once again, I'm going to be really rude here, but the girl that's like your trainer that was a Jedi, but now not a Jedi anymore. Yeah, I know she's a real actor, and I'm sure she's a great lady. I can't get over how buggy her eyes are. That pulls me out. Another facial feature.
Yeah.
I can't handle. But she's a great actress, right? I'm not saying anything about her. Just the way they kind of animated it made it more noticeable to me. But I was playing Jedi Fallen Order. I think I was talking to you about it. I wanted to do a co-review with you and I. Like I wanted to get your thoughts.
Yeah,
and I was getting gameplay. That was
a while back. That was
almost a year ago.
Busy.
Yeah, no, it's completely fine. But I was playing through the game. I was taking notes. I was trying to be a good YouTuber and like to do like a, maybe it would have been my first review, right? Like actual game review. And I've only done one review and I'm never doing another review. They're so difficult and I'm so bad at it. If you guys, or when you guys watch reviews on YouTube, like seriously, drop a like. Even if you didn't like it, drop a like, because that takes a lot of work. But anyways, so I'm going through it and I'm probably 3/4 of the way into the game and I hit a difficulty spike. And I was on Darth, I think it's called. The planet with the dudes with the Darth Maul's like family. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Dathomir.
Dathomir. That's what it was. I knew it started with a D. And I put the game down because I could not get past it. Like, I would just get destroyed by these dudes, and I would try to run away, and they would follow me, and then I have like 14 of these guys on me, and and then so eventually I was like, okay, but all this work into this review, let me try to review it, and then I kind of like, in my head, I'm like, you're not going to give this game a fair review, because now I know how I am. When something gets difficult, I put it down. That's just, I know that. So I put the game down, and I didn't review it. I stopped. I was gonna like put the difficulty down all the way to nothing, to basically story mode, but I was like, no, it's not the way to play it. Just stop. So,
you know, I mean, it's like I said though. I mean, that is like a Souls type. That's one of those games where sometimes you just kind of gotta farm like the early enemies on a stage for a while.
yeah,
until you get to the point where you can actually handle yourself. And it's one of those ones where if you die, you need to be able to live and get back to where you died and then defeat the thing that killed you.
yep,
So you can get your stuff back, you know.
yep.
It's a Souls-like in the same way that I would say Darksiders 3 was a Souls-like.
Okay.
Because it kind of followed that same. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not a fan of these kind of, like, I want to be, you know, like Dark Souls or Bloodborne or Elden Ring or, you know, Demon Souls or whatever. Or Sekiro. I would love to be able to play these games, but something about them just doesn't click for me. But these Souls lights, like, you know, Darksiders 3 or Jedi Fallen Order,
Yeah,
I'm
like
definitely
that?
I can get into them.
Isn't Ghost of Tsushima similar?
No. You're thinking of Sekiro.
Oh, okay. So I gotta
Yeah.
pick up Ghost of Tsushima then, because like I thought that was a Souls light game, so that's why I stayed away.
Oh no, dude. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. That is definitely one that you should play.
All right, I'm
now
gonna
that you've
turn
got a
my
PS4.
PlayStation on right now and check the price digitally.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah,
Might be $20. I'm not sure.
$20 seems okay to me. There's that summer sale going on PlayStation, and I know it hasn't changed, but every day I keep popping in there, like, all right, what could I justify today by? What's changed? But I already bought my 2 games, and I got all these games to go through. Like just a minute ago, I was thinking about buying The Last of Us 2, but I haven't even started The Last of Us 1 yet.
Man, I would love to talk about The Last of Us, but I'd like to do it with Mikey here.
And wait till I beat it, or at least start it.
Well, no, I don't want to talk about plot points or anything. I just want to talk about my general feelings of the game or of the series.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, don't anybody who's listening to this get your hackles up and be like, well, Last of Us 2 is the best game ever made, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, okay, dude, I don't care about any of that. I want to talk about how I feel about the game.
Yeah, this is our podcast. I don't care if someone gets upset about it. Let them. All right, looking for Ghost of Tsushima.
People like to get up in arms about.
Good, man. Like they would at least get a comment on here. Like if someone sends me a negative comment, I'm just gonna laugh and send you some love right back. Be like, thanks for listening, bro. Appreciate you being a fan.
Thank you for the constructive criticism.
Nah, not even that. I'm gonna completely ignore it and go the other way. Like, I don't know. But is Ghost of Tsushima that's a PlayStation exclusive, right? That's not on PC yet?
Yes. It's from Sucker Punch. Oh, it might be on PC? I don't think so.
Not that my PC will be able to run it, but I'm just being curious.
Yeah, I mean, definitely check it out if you get the chance, man. You might be able to find it pretty cheap at GameStop, actually.
Oh yeah, you're right. Disc. Then I gotta have a disc.
Basic version.
I don't know. Ghost of Tsushima director's cut, $60.
That is the, I believe, the PS5 version.
Let's see. Bonus content is free.
Yeah, I think you can play the online stuff
Yeah.
for free.
It's getting in the Ghostbusters now.
Also a great game.
I have that on PC actually, and that's an older game, so I can play
The video game? Is
Yeah,
that the subtitle for the Ghostbusters
the
game?
video game. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that game. That's my rarest PlayStation 3 Platinum trophy.
Oh, look at you. Yeah, I can only find it for 20. Requires Ghosts. Okay, I can only find it for $20 or $60. I can't find Ghost of Tsushima. Hold on, let me actually type it all out. Ghost of Tsushima Legends. What's that?
That is the online stuff. That's the online multiplayer thing. That's not what you're looking for. You're
No,
looking for
yeah,
the actual game.
Actual game is $60 right now. The
Is
heck?
it the PS5 version that you're looking at? Like the
There's
director's
no
cut?
PS4 version on here, I guess. It's just director's cut. It's period. Ah, I guess I'll have to go to GameStop.
Oh wow, maybe they took the regular one off the PlayStation Store. That's kind of weird.
That's lame.
Yeah, definitely check out let's see what I'm gonna look at GameStop real quick. See what it's going for there.
I'm not too worried about it, dude. I have so many games to get through. I still got to beat Miles Morales, and I have all the Uncharted games to get into, which I've already bought. Looking here,
Tsushima pre-owned, $18.99.
18. Okay,
at
so
GameStop.
I'm gonna wait a little bit. Like it's not going anywhere. So
Yeah,
that's
it's not
another
going
game
anywhere,
I'll
dude.
put on my list. So, but so what I'm gonna do, since I'm moving here shortly, I should be able to get next week's podcast in. But after that, that'll be it for a little bit. Well, until I have internet, and I don't know when that'll be. We might have to shift a little time frame. But I have my PS4, and then I have the portable game case. I know you're not talking about, but for everybody else, it's basically a suitcase with a TV in it, and you can plug like an HDMI into it, and you can play console, or really you can play anything off of it. And so I'm just going to have my PlayStation, and everything else is going to be packed up for about a month. So I'm going to knock through a lot of games. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream, but I know I'll be able to record. And then after I'm done recording, I might just put up my gameplay footage. So you can kind of have a sense of what I've been doing for the last month. But we'll see how it plays out. But got anything else you want to talk about, Dave?
No, let me look at my notes here.
Yeah, I'm pulling through notes too.
Well, my now playing is Ghost and Goblins Resurrection. That's mostly what I've been playing. Recent pickups, a couple more Turok games. Mentioned Shovel Knight and Kirby.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting ever closer to finishing up my Turok Dinosaur Hunter collection. So
Okay.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good spot to end as any. Did you want to put out where everyone could find you if they want to DM you or talk to you directly?
Oh yeah, for I'm at Stefernaut on Twitter. I'm not gonna do my Facebook stuff. That's for family. I'm working on my YouTube channel right now, so hopefully maybe at some point in the future I'll have a YouTube video to put up. I'm kind of excited to share it with everybody, but it was super cringe when I just filmed it today. It was super cringe watching the footage. I don't know.
Everyone's first videos are cringe. Go back and watch my first ones.
I know.
I've given up on trying to not be cringe. That's just the way it is. That's
Yeah,
who I am.
It'll be fun. You've kind of inspired me, because I know we talked about this a long time ago on our work trip about doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
But you've kind of inspired me to actually kind of get off my ass and do it. I want to share my collection with the world, because my wife doesn't care about any of it.
I want to see it too.
I don't really have a lot of friends who here that are like into gaming and stuff. So I kind of it's cool for me to look at, but if I'm not sharing it with somebody, then it's like, well, no, what's the point? But I don't want to get all weird or anything about it. But I just kind of want to show off all my shit. Pretty much. I want to flex on everybody. All my
No,
gaming
I get
shit.
it. I like a lot of those videos online that people do of like their games they've picked up recently. Right, that's a thing I like
love
to
those
watch.
videos. That's one
Yeah.
thing that's kind of inspired me because, dude, I'm constantly ordering shit. I got like 4 packages today from eBay.
That's
So,
awesome. See, that's stuff I want to see and I want to know about. So,
yeah.
so from now on in our podcast, we will have Dave's pickups. what you want to share with us. And so, if you listen to the podcast, you can look forward to those videos he's going to push out in the future.
Hell yeah.
That'd be sick. Cool. All right. Well, I don't have anything to share. You guys know where to find me. I got the channel and my Discord, which most of you guys are already on. I appreciate everyone being here. And yeah, that's all I got. Thank you very much for listening, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.
Your tots out.